Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in this series I'm going to talk about how we can make 3D DNA in Blender. So this is going to be a very long lecture, therefore I'm splitting this lecture into 3 different parts. So in the first part we are going to design the DNA. In the second part we'll be talking about shading and different coloring options, and in the third part we'll be talking about lighting and the camera and rendering the animation or image. So in this video I'll be talking about how we can make 3D DNA, and we can see what features we have. Let's move ahead and start. So before starting making DNA, let's see how we have made a file that has multiple DNA, and our final video is going to be something like this one. So we can either make animation or we can take the image from this file. So let's go ahead and make a new file. So I'm going to make a 3D new file, and first thing we need to do is we need to remove the cube delete the cube by X and hit tilde key for the view of the camera. So I think top view is the best view we can get, and Shift A and insert a plane. So now we can hit tab to go to edit mode, and there are so many different ways to make DNA. You can use geometry nodes or you can use molecular nodes. So in this video we'll be talking like the easiest and the fastest way. So let's merge two vertex on one side, hit M and merge the center, and same thing on the other side, M at center. So now we have the merged plane, and what we can do is we can do the screw modification. From the modifier, go to modifier, add modifier, and do the screw modification. So now we can see the screw modification. We don't see anything because the height is 0. So we can use 15 height so that we can make it longer, so it looks somewhat like DNA, and we can change height later. So let's make it 15 for now. And there is another modification that we can do here. So that's a skin modification. So we need that ATGC basis. So now we can see, we can exactly get the parallel and anti-parallel stand and ATGC basis right here. So this looks like a DNA, and it's pretty rough. So what we can do is we add another modifier where we can use, either we can do smooth, right? So we can do smooth, or we can also add subdivision surface. So what it does, if you increase the levels in the viewport, then it can smooth the DNA you have. So let's increase it 2, 3. So let's see it, maybe 4. So it looks more smooth. We can go 5. So I think there is no difference between 4 and 5. This is enough. So if we want to get a better rendering, then I think this also should go to 4. So this looks pretty nice. So one thing we can do is, this one looks very smooth, so we can make a different type of DNA. So go to tab and go to edit mode and Shift D for duplication. And if we want to move this one in x-axis, then grab for G for grab and X for moving in x-axis. So grab it. Again we can do Shift D, G for grab, X for moving in x-axis only, and if you want to move in y-axis, then we can do accordingly. So now these two are smooth. So however, we can make this one little like rough so that it looks better in the animation. So if we want to add that texture, then we can go to add modifier, add a new modifier. We can collapse this one. So add modifier, and we can displace modifier. So it's displaced a little bit, but we want to make it specific. Go to new modifier. We can keep this also. So let's do D and G for grab, X for G for grab and X for moving in x-axis. So it looks different. So we can make a different type. So we can go to texture. We can add a texture here. So we already have a pre-texture. So let's go to Stussy or Voronoi. We can go to Voronoi also. And what we can do is, while going to Voronoi, we have to decrease the intensity. It might look better if we decrease the intensity. Wow, Nice. Yeah, it looks a different type of DNA, right? And this one we can do a different texture. So this one we can add a different modifier, displace modifier, but let's go and add texture type, new texture, and select a new one. We can do clouds and Blender original to maybe improve Berlin, and then look for the strength. Okay, this looks good. Yeah, this looks good. And this also we can change the blend mode. Okay, I think it looks fine. So we have different kind of DNA, and if we want to change this one, Shift D and G for grab, X for moving in the X direction, Shift D, and we can grab, G for grab and X for moving in the X axis. So now we have different kind of DNA right here, and we can change this also. Let's change strength of this one, and it might look better, right? So whatever you want, so we can change accordingly. And yeah, okay, it looks nice. So this is our DNA, and it looks like DNA. So as I told earlier, I'm going to divide this into 3 lectures. So this is the first lecture, and in the second lecture I'll be talking about how we can set this and color this one. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in part 2 of how to make DNA, 3D DNA. Thank you so much. See you in next video. Bye.